welcome to Damage Does D&D. We are back with the investigators, investigating things in a totally random way. Wait, no, totally, absolutely planned way because of research. DM?
That'll cover it. So, last time, 2 weeks ago now, after charging up the slopes towards the Dwarven Mountain, you came across the Everburn, who had just entered the Dwarven realms inside a cave, and you engaged with him through the corridor, trying to slow him down and chip him down as you go. Eventually, he made his way into a welcome chamber to Dwarven territories. No dwarves remain in there currently, or at the time. But he seemed angered by something and pounded the ground, causing cracks to form. The fight was long and, well, fiery, as the Everburn continued to smash the ground looking for something. The final blow was eventually dealt, upon which the Everburn exploded, taking the floor with him, dropping you all onto the basement of this welcome chamber and revealing a static rift. Some of the party have experienced before, a long time ago now. And knowing that it is safe to travel through and back again, away Mazdak went on his research.
Totally normal.
So as Mazdak runs into the rift, is anyone else doing anything in the room?
What is that Mazdak has just run through?
Are we following?
You can come back if it's what I think it is.
Y'all stay here. I'll go and see what he's doing, and then Kroll will jog across and sort of walk through as well. Just to...
Okay.
Being alone in places seems to be a real downfall for this party. So
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Is there anything left of the Everburn?
No.
Just completely disappeared.
Completely, yeah.
Okay.
He didn't have any weapons or anything on him or armor anyway. He was just the living embodiment of fire,
Right.
which has since burnt out.
Can I, after having brief conversations with Mazdak about the adventures and going on of late in the world, without going in it, can Atan go up to this rift and make some sort of arcana check, have a look to see the magics of how it is being kept stable and where potentially try and figure out why some of them are unstable?
Sure, make an arcana check.
First roll of 2025.
Woohoo!
And it's quite good.
And it's
No,
it's
it
not
is.
an insight check. So
No. Wow. 19.
19. Okay. So with the information that you already know, and now actually being able to sit and look at this thing, it's tough. I mean, you can feel the energy coming off of it. It's not anything. It's not a form of magic you're familiar with, but it is. It does feel magic. It's, if anything, it's most similar to teleportation magic, but with a bit of a twist. And yeah, you'd very comfortably surmise that this is a time rift that would transport you to past or future.
Wow.
Yeah, was there any other sort of specific information you were fishing for there?
Well, yeah, so if I can gather that and kind of see but not maybe fully understand like the arcane weave of this thing, obviously I know the teleport spell, so that would stand out most to me on that side of it. But Mazdak's obviously mentioned that some of the rifts are unstable. can I see what in this thread is making it stable, and if possible, to make unstable ones stable or disappear?
Okay. Not with a 19.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
With more time and a proper setup, you could probably determine a bit more.
Yeah, I'll as Kral's gone through and everyone else is obviously resting and waiting. If we don't go through, I'll just spend my time just going over this and making a few notes that, and maybe if Mazdak does come back,
Yeah.
have a look.
Mazdak.
Yep.
Sorry.
I was just
Burn,
going to put 25 of my lay on hands into Sasha.
Sure. No problem. So Mazdak and then Kral. Mazdak, having been through one of these before, you kind of remember that sensation as it sort of pulls you in, and you can still see clearly outside of it. The same as before, you can see, as in fast forward, things happen around you. The ceiling above you gets rebuilt, and then there's an extra tunnel that gets built out over on the side as you are travelling faster than normal through time.
So
There is a.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead and.
Well, I was just going to say, bearing in mind that the last time this happened, everything was going backwards, and this time is going forwards. Obviously, Mazdak would work out that this is propelling me through time towards the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. There's a brilliant flash of light that just lingers for some time. And when that begins to fade, you can see that there's no ceiling again on the room. And in fact, you can see all the way out to a darkened sky as the top of the mountain that you're underneath has been completely blown off.
Interesting.
And as you watch that sky, it just stays darkened.
Right. Are there... Now, bearing in mind, the last time I was messing with one of these stable rifts, there was a person, an unknown person that was meddling with this. I'm going to do a quick cast around to see if I can see any evidence of anybody else being in this rift with me or on the outside of what I can see.
Interesting. Make a perception check then.
13 plus perception. 15.
You get the faint sense that there's someone else, but then it twigs. Kral's come through after you,
Right, okay. Ah,
and he's a little displaced in the time displacement,
yeah.
but you can sort of sense that he's followed you.
Alright, so no sort of
But no
traces
one
of
else.
anyone else. Okay, cool. And we're in this basement, sort of as
Yeah.
it was. I briefly saw that when the Everburn fell into it. Are there any artifacts? Things? I'm looking. Is this just another empty room, or is there furniture? Is there anything here?
Well, in the room originally there were bunks, there were beds. This is where some tools. It changes over time. There is more training equipment and weaponry and things stored in here and taken away, and it's a well-used room up until the flash of light, where it's much less used.
Okay. So I'll turn to Kral coming through. Ah, Kral! So, the last one of these we encountered was one that went backwards in time. This one has propelled us forwards, I'm sure you noticed as you came through with all the changing scenery and the things being moved in and out. So this is interesting because if we look up, we can see the darkened sky. Are there any stars in the sky? DM.
Yes, there are stars.
Okay. Is it a recognisable constellations, or is it changed?
No, it looks
Okay,
looks
so we have,
normal starts
so
too.
judging by the stars, I don't think we've travelled too far into the future. But your opinion would be useful on that if we could just double check, because obviously my knowledge of constellations, etc., is not perfect. But it seems that we are in one of our stable rifts, and therefore cannot affect anything. Although, maybe because this is propelled us into the future, we can bring something back to the past.
Well, maybe, but do you think that maybe this is what would have happened if the Everburn had succeeded?
Well, that's an interesting point. If the Everburn had come
Because
through this rift, I think
if
perhaps something
the
would have happened.
Well, the reason I ask this is the top of the mountain's missing. We
Well,
can see the
quite.
night sky, and that didn't happen
So-
just. So if this formed before we defeated him, but we've now defeated him, this future is no longer
Well, possibly.
fixed.
Possibly. It depends. And if he had come through and regained in the future, a bit difficult to passing sentences is difficult. So he would have, if he would have come through the rift and become the being he is in this current timeline, then perhaps the mountain could have blown its top off. So what we could do to experiment is to take something from this room. Is there anything in the room I can pick up?
Well, you're still sort of in the rift, travelling to the future at the
I see,
moment.
right, okay.
I was just sort of letting you conversate before we get to the other end.
Okay, so when we get there, perhaps there will be something to grasp, something to interact with that we can try and work out, because this may not be permanent, pointing at the stars, because it feels like we're still moving towards a future, so this may all change again. This may have been the Everburn taking the roof off the mountain and then the dwarves rebuilding. Who knows?
Perhaps. But I suppose if we're moving towards a future, then because the original incarnation of the Everburn was beaten back by the dwarves, and I suppose his new empowered form would have allowed him to do what he did to the giants. Maybe.
Yes. Right. But we mustn't forget that the dwarves managed to banish him again. But we did see earlier, when we were fighting machinery from the future in one of the unstable rifts, that the dwarves had made machines to counter threats. So we need to be very careful when we arrive to make sure that we're in a friendly dwarven city rather than an unfriendly dwarven city.
Weren't they made in relation to the flash magic that the elves had used?
Indeed. But we don't know if we're going to arrive at that point in time or not, whether they were building them, before they were building them, after they built them, or what another point entirely. It'll be exciting. And obviously a wonderful opportunity to learn and gather knowledge.
True.
And with that, you both feel a pull as you are released from the rift with the same momentum in which you entered.
Okay.
And you are now in the room, back again, stood outside of the rift.
What's here? Any people? Any things?
There is. Well, just make a. Actually, no. There's a voice. Like, hello, who's that?
Hi, I'm Mazdak. Can I see where the voice is coming from?
Over towards the eastern side of the room, there's like a couple of overturned boxes, and the voice is coming from behind.
Hi, I'm Mazdak, and this is my friend Kroll. We've come through the rift to investigate what's going on. We are part of the investigators team, and therefore are investigating the time rifts and see if we can do anything about them. Sorry, I do apologise. Your name is?
Two dwarves pop up from outside the box, looking rather confused. My name is Thandumi,
Hi.
and my name's read notes. My name's Mumatellin.
Thandumi and Mumatellin. Very pleased to meet you. As I said, my name is Mazdak, and this is Kral. We are part of the investigators team, set up by obviously the wizards to investigate what is going on with these time rifts and potentially put an end to them.
You two.
Sorry, I missed that, Martin. Sorry, you cut out.
What are you two?
Well,
we've never met anyone like either of you before.
I am a Verdun, which is a humanoid. We generally are friendly and small and usually quite intelligent. But and my friend Kral here is a turtle. So we are again a humanoid, friendly, and yes, we're very pleased to. Could you tell me what year this is?
Right. Yeah. As the male dwarf jumps over on top of the box and then sits down, sort of facing you, and then the lady dwarf Mumi does the same. Right. That's interesting. I've only ever met like dwarves, a couple of tieflings, blasted elves.
Right.
Sorry, the year is complicated. We call it like 813.
813.
Yeah.
Okay. Remind me, DM, because I'm terrible at note taking. The year where Mazdak is from is
Much higher than that.
much higher than that. So, 813 would suggest that there has been some sort of reset, because the year that I am from is a much higher number than this. So, you said it was complicated.
Did you come through that thing?
Yes. This is a time rift. This is a stable time rift.
Right. Well, we've been asked to sort of just keep watch of this.
Oh, well, very good. Who asked you to keep watch?
The chief.
The chief. Ah, excellent. And the chief's name? Sorry, I'm being bold asking many questions.
He's Chief Eldom.
Eldon. Okay.
Eldom.
Eldon.
Yeah, he's back in Mortar.
Mortar?
You'd probably know of
The dwarven
It's
capital.
the nearest. Yeah. The town name hasn't changed.
Okay.
Similar to concrete.
Yeah, very sort of in between
Little up.
bricks.
I said similar to concrete.
With an A. Morta.
So, in what he knows as Dwarvish, Kral will ask them. So, are the Grimblesing clan still around? Or, the ones who were famous for the arcane?
Sorry.
culinary?
Not heard of that name.
Are they speaking common or are they speaking dwarvish?
But yeah, should have just gone. Should have dealt with that to begin
Yeah,
with.
sorry.
They were speaking Dwarvish.
Okay, well, I would have not understood them because I only speak common, draconic, elvish, goblin, and orc. But I can change that so that I can speak everything. I will cast a spell to do that.
Cool. Well, to save us rehashing, you can retroactively have cast that already.
Yeah, obviously, seeing Mazdak doing his thing, Kral would have stepped forward and he would have been pulling out, one of the breastplates that we found, the future dwarves.
As the they see you reaching behind, there's crossbows pointed at you. Now, don't.
He's gonna carry on. He's literally just gonna pull out the breastplate.
Hey, Now, where did you get that? Looks very similar to the sort of set they're wearing.
Well, we found some of, well, what we probably now can surmise is some of your folk on our side of the rift a few weeks back. And some of your large golems as well.
Oh, yeah. And there's a bit of a whistle, and one of them goes clunk, 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 and the familiar orange glow.
Yeah.
Oh, that just manages to get the Eldritch Blast back under control. So, that's we had a bit of a run-in with these machines. They were taking over a town, and it looked like they had killed some of your kin.
That's
Run
strange. They pretty...
replicate each other.
Oh yeah, they'll replicate if they have to. But they wouldn't normally kill dwarves. Don't know what happened there.
Well, we definitely found dead dwarves when these things were rampaging, killing everything in sight.
Maybe this time rift of yours has messed him up a bit.
I mean, it's not my time rift, actually. It's a time rift we're trying to investigate. It's causing all sorts of problems at our end of the time stream as well. So, have you noticed any weird time shifts or things happening that shouldn't be?
As far as I know, this thing appeared about a week ago.
Right.
And we've just been sent out from the town to keep an eye on it.
Right. Okay.
Nobody's
Well,
investigated from our side, and nobody's come through until you two.
Don't mind me asking, when these things show up, how long do they usually last?
I don't know. Never seen one before.
oh, this is the first one you've seen. Marvellous. Okay.
Yeah.
So, a quick question. There is a being I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called the Everburn.
No idea. Sorry.
Big flamey monster. Okay, good. That's good, I think.
We get flamey monsters down in the mine sometimes, but they're no bother.
And are the gods still worshipped here, and how many of them are there?
You ask some awful, strange questions.
It's just that because of these rifts, we've had some, shall we call, alterations to the way that things were.
I think this is a little above our pay grade. Maybe we could. There's a shift change due in 20 minutes. Maybe me and the wife can take you back to the city, and you can talk to the chief.
I mean, that sounds
If
like a
it's
very
all
good
the
idea.
same, well, if it's all the same, I'd prefer that we don't leave the vicinity of the rift, because if it starts to destabilize, we're going to have to go back through to our people.
Well, yes, but we should have plenty of time. Mazdak is the only person in the room that's laughing about that. We could, or do you have such a thing as a library in town?
There is someone who keeps some books. She's a bit strange though. I mean, she keeps books for a start.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we Githelm does keep quite extensive notes on things that have happened.
Right. Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
History, they call it.
Yes, history. That's always good. Perhaps we should talk to them.
You can hear behind you the rift just begin to buzz slightly, and Bernia pops out.
Ah, Bernia.
Things are taking a while, Mazdak. What is going on?
This is
There's more!
This is a friend. This is a friend. This is Bernia. She is our very good friend of ours. She is here with us as part of the investigators team. This is oh bugger! I didn't write their names down.
Thandumi
Thandumi.
and Mumitellen. I'll just paste names in to the chat for you.
Okay. This is Thandumi and Mumitellen. They've been very kind and answered a lot of our questions. Well, my questions and some of Kral's questions as well. But it seems that this is the first time they've ever seen a rift like this, which is very exciting. And also, there is
There are crossbows pointed at Bernia.
Yeah, there are not any. Why are you still pointing your crossbows? She's a friend of
Why?
mine.
Why is there an elf here?
She's not an elf.
No.
Those ears are awfully pointy for my liking.
I'm just gonna raise my mechanical hand to show it, and I'll say in Dwarven, "I am not your enemy."
What? Confusion. Who taught you our language?
Well, it's
Hang on, I have to check my notes.
I think if Bernia's gone through, I think
Yeah, I think the rest of us
Atan
would be
and
charging.
Walkbacks would they're basically playing follow the leader.
I was taught by my friend Danvir Slaghammer.
I think there are a few. Hey, Moomy, are there any slaghammers still about? Yeah, I think so. Not. Not in our town though. So I'm chatting to myself. I think they're further south. Right.
so. As I was saying, but this is the future. They've not heard of the Everburn. This is the
Bernie's
first.
just looking at the
rift.
golem.
Hmm.
Now.
This is the first rift they've ever encountered, and it's all very interesting. But Chief Eldon is in the town just down into. And there's a person called Githelm that keeps histories, which is very good. We should definitely go and investigate and speak to them, so that we can find out exactly how much they know and if there's anything we can do to stop these rifts happening.
This is the future.
Yes. It is the year 813, which suggests some sort of reset. I mean, you must
the
have
same
noticed as you
one.
came through.
That abominable creature came from.
Yes, but nobody's ever heard of it here. Or at least these two lovely dwarves have not heard of it.
Heard of what?
The Everburn.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
not
the other
Everburn.
one. There's another unholy creature. Yes. I'm not sure that came from here though.
I think we got the implication that the dwarves had built the golems to combat those things.
that was the implication.
So yes. So the and I'll point at the golem. The things that these fight, one of them was sent back in time to our time and started wreaking havoc, and that's why I think the dwarves and the
Oh,
mechanicals
shit.
came back to try to help, but I think the mechanicals went a bit wrong and started killing everybody.
Right. Okay. If. Hey, Debbie.
Hello. Yeah, slightly out of patch having a dinner yet, so I'm going to leave the camera off for a moment to do that.
Okay, no problem.
Sure. Very quick catch up. Mazdak went through, started talking to Kral as well, started talking to a couple of dwarves in the future.
Future dwarves.
And I think I saw a hint of this in the chat, but their names weren't Yorick and Gus, no?
No.
It was my first fault.
I'm not. Moomy and Doomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like the type of cover names Gus and Yorick could come up with.
Kind of does. That's just my dwarf showing. So yeah, the rest of you all pop out as well.
Again, friends, and this.
Right. Is there any more of that coming? Because I can't be having.
Just do a quick count. No, that's it. That's everyone. We are the investigators. Very pleased to meet you. This is Sasha. She's very tall. This is Bug. This is Atan. And this is Morgrax. So now you have met everyone. And we're all very friendly.
Okay, right. Hi, everyone. I'm Thandoomy. This is Moomitelin. Moomy and Doomy, you can call us. Right, so we should probably get you guys to the town, okay? Because I can't answer all the questions this one's throwing at me.
You can.
And they might have a bit more information for you.
Is there anything I can do to avoid concern and hostility?
Put a hat on, I'd say. Have you got a helmet or something?
Somewhere.
Right.
Or a headband.
Yeah,
Because
do a Spock.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Because the one thing I can tell you is that dwarves and elves are not friends.
Right.
I might be able to help Bernia if needed.
In what way?
I could burn the tops off them.
Not in that way.
I would rather not.
Could
Bug.
just cast a spell.
Okay, it would cauterize the wound when it happened, so it wouldn't hurt too much. Well, it would hurt, but it wouldn't bleed.
Or we could just put a cloak on her. I don't know why we're overcomplicating this.
Yes. I'll just kind of rifle through, try and dig out the cloak because the hood's probably stuck underneath everything, and pull it out.
Mazdak, important question here. First time through, first time user is one of these portals. Future or past?
Oh, future. Could you not tell from the way that the room changed as you were going through the rift, and also the
Large
sky?
advanced golem standing next to us.
Plus, yes, the advanced column, which was.
Where's the top of the mountain gone?
That's a very good question. One I haven't actually asked yet.
It's always been like that.
Well, over in our time, it wasn't like that. It was a big mountain.
That's nice.
Something must have happened to it at some point.
How about we
It
save the
were
question?
probably the elves, darn them.
Probably.
I can pretty much guarantee it weren't the elves.
You can't trust people that tall. The air's so thin up there, they get lightheaded and do stupid things.
Everybody's tall compared to you, Bug.
That's right.
Right.
I think it is best we go and speak with people who can answer our questions.
Yeah. So, come with me and no funny business, because I'll have big fellow over here following behind.
Can you define funny business? Does that mean we're not allowed to make you laugh?
Just for once, shut up and follow.
Yes,
So only this once. Okay.
We're only going to learn things. We're not going to be daft. It will stop us from learning things if you keep chattering on. Honestly, some people who just never stop talking. It's outrageous.
There is good potential we could learn of ways to deal with the intruder.
Well, quite. Because obviously sending back, I think the dwarves may have sent back some of these in time, which went very badly indeed.
I remember tearing them off the cliff and crushing
Yes.
them.
Indeed.
Yes, we did manage to defeat them eventually.
Well, yes, let's follow Dooman and Moomin then. Come on.
You'll just probably only Mazdak will understand this, but you'll just hear a massive sigh from Kral. By all the gods, I swear, if these lads don't shut up, they are going to get us killed.
I thought at first you were saying your sigh was in a different language.
Dice in Spanish.
It was a sign language.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Sign language. So yeah, Mazdak will happily trot along, just sort of peppering questions like, so where is there any records of when the top of the mountain fell off, or is it?
If anyone's got that information, Githelm will.
Githelm. Okay, that's good. So this Githelm, is she a historian, or?
If that's what she might call herself, that, yeah.
Right, okay, that's great. Historians are very
She's
useful.
the keeper of the books.
Yes, that would be a librarian.
She's a bit weird though. Not like most dwarves.
Well, that's
Short beard. What's that about?
okay. Maybe she's just got it tucked in. Could be a fashion choice.
Calling it now, she's an elf in disguise.
Yeah. Mazdak will scamper along, just sort of looking at everything, making a couple of notes about the differences.
Yeah. So it's about an hour's walk with Moomy and Doomy at the front and Mazdak throwing questions and the Golem at the back following along.
Okay.
Eventually, through the tunnels, you do head underground, well, or at least the mountain
Becomes
re-emerges above you. Yeah. And you are underground again. Before reaching the city, Moomy says, right, you stay here with them. I'll go get the chief, all right? And he nods and runs off. We're just going to wait here because I'm not letting you in the town if the chief says you can't come in, okay?
I think that's fair enough. We are outsiders after all. From the past.
Looking around at various odd-looking entities they've never seen before. But 5 minutes go by and this elderly dwarf begins sort of hobbling slightly to and fro towards the group. So, what do we have here then?
Hi, I'm Mazdak, and I walk forward with my hand stretched out. I'm Mazdak. I'm of the investigators. We are here from the past. Through the time rift that your Moomy and Doomy were doing an excellent job just keeping an eye on, obviously, because we're here. These are all my friends, companions. We have Bernia, we have Bug, we have Atan, and Kral, and Sasha, and Morgrax. So we're all here to investigate, and we just need to ask some questions, really. We have one of those entities that your quite brilliant creations.
Mazdak.
Yes.
Let's go somewhere a bit more private, can we?
Oh yes, of course. Yes.
Want to cause a stir in the town with you strange folk.
Okay. Are we going to Githelm's place so we can look up records?
Sharp look at the two dwarves with you for giving away names. Let's just have a private conversation first, shall we?
Sure.
He leads off, travelling slowly. Sharp intake of breath.
Sorry.
You did a as if you'd.
Yeah. So Mazdak is literally going to scamper alongside, just asking questions. So we know it's the year 813. Do you know when a reset happened? Was this, or should I ask this to Githelm? Is this a question best asked to her? Perhaps so. And just like continues on like that.
And Eldon just continues to sort of walk with his head down.
Yeah.
You'd probably guess he's 200 at this point. He's quite an elderly dwarf. Who wanders?
Yeah.
Sorry?
If I had to hazard a guess, Mazdak, I'm saying I would have thought that whenever the reset happened, it was perhaps 813 years ago.
Yes, but what year was it when it happened? Is the question, Sasha. I realised that 813 years ago. I'm not stupid. You dafty.
And it probably happened when the top blew off. Oh, sorry, I'm not allowed to talk. Oh.
I quite like it when Bug doesn't talk. Can we do
It's
this
just
again?
one mind. You did just this once, so that's it.
No, he said 4 once.
I
Not
have a
just this
challenge for
once.
the two of you whilst we are working. I want to see which of you cannot talk the most.
I mean, that's ridiculous psychology. If you're going to try that with me, Bernie, you're going to have to be much more clever about it, I'm afraid.
Or
I'm not a
how
child.
about
I won.
everybody shuts up until we get where we're going.
Hey, what have you got against talking?
Well, I wasn't talking. I was just asking questions. I was doing proper, interesting, relevant questions. Not just frivolous chatter.
I apologize for him.
Who, Bug? Yes, well, that's, you know, he's quite
Both
talkative,
of
really.
you.
I mean, no need to apologise for me. I'm, as I say, doing relevant questions.
Atan just gives a side look to Morgrax as if to say, really? This group?
That's fair.
Morgrax will just nod.
You, not long after which, enter a large building. This is all underground and it's all carved out of rock quite exquisitely. Yeah, you push open some large stone doors and enter a large building through a sort of reception room into a larger room with a few large tables around. And Eldon just sort of wanders over and goes and plonks himself down in a chair and gestures for you to sit at the table.
I will sit.
I assume you sit.
Yes, I will sit. I have many questions. I'm sure you do too. We are from the past, from a year, and I will say the year that we're from.
Yeah, I can't remember that off the top of my head.
I'll just say that year. So it seems like there was a reset, probably as has been suggested when the mountain was exploded. Do you know what caused that? Is that a thing you can tell me?
I don't know.
Right, okay, not a problem. So your golems, your mechanical marvels that you have for fighting monstrosities, one of those monstrosities came through a rift in time to our time and started killing lots of people and wreaking havoc.
Well,
So
there was more than one. There was a few of them, and then they tried to replicate themselves.
No.
no,
beasts
the
were
thing
only
that the
one.
golems were chasing, I suspect you sent the golems and some dwarves back to after this thing, but unfortunately the golems went a bit crazy and started killing everything, including the dwarves that were with them. So we had to stop your golems, which we did, but we haven't managed to find this creature that they were chasing. So we were wondering if you could perhaps furnish us with some details about this creature or these creatures that your golems were supposed to be fighting, so that we can go back and do something about that.
We did not intentionally send any golems or dwarves. There was a group that went missing, but it was nothing intentional. There are many strange things that happen these days, not least the rift that you seem to have appeared from.
Yes. So you have seen more rifts.
There have been odd occurrences where things have appeared out of nowhere and things have disappeared.
Right. Okay. So your experience.
We had a lovely beach. We had a lovely beach appear in a mine a week or so ago.
Interesting.
Strange times.
Yes. So this sort of thing is happening where we're from as well.
It's
we're-
happening Everyone.
Everyone. It's quite good word. I like that. So everyone, we are trying to investigate the causes of this and potentially put a stop to it so that everybody can get on with their lives as normal. Now, one of the other things that has happened is a creature called the Everburn, and I'm not sure if you've heard of that. Many centuries ago, the dwarves banished the Everburn deep under the ground, and then from a future, not necessarily this one, it sent a shard of itself back with a creature called Imarius to our time, who then the Everburn started to grow stronger and stronger and was trying to get to the rift that we've just come through, but we managed to stop it. Now, I suspect that if the Everburn had got to this rift, it would have been very bad here as well. So, I know that's a lot of information.
The Everburn.
Yes.
And did you say Amarius?
Yes.
Yes.
How did Amarius come through here? A couple of times he was just a sort of... I don't know, he travel around trying to sell things, bit of a snake oil salesman if you ask me, but at some point he got more powers.
Yes, that sounds like him.
Tieflings seem to have a little bit of power, and then he come around like showing off fire tricks and whatnot.
Yes, well, the Everburn is a fire elemental that he has had made a deal with to get powers.
And then turned his back on.
You said there was a beach that turned up. By any chance there were more people that looked like me?
No, sorry, I didn't. There were no people that came with it, just the sand.
Turtle Beach, eh? Just me on that one. Okay.
Well,
What else did you ask? Sorry.
So the Everburn, the creature that escaped away from your machines and dwarves, when did they disappear?
That were about 3 weeks ago.
Right.
We lost contact with a group they were north of the mountains. They'd gone.
Does that line up from where we fought?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that would line up. So these creatures, where did they come from? That your marvelous machines were fighting?
I presume you are talking about the Riddigita.
I don't know. That's an interesting name. The Riddigita.
are these flesh creatures that radiate menace? Shall we say?
They are awful constructions of flesh.
Instill fear in you. You are helpless, unable to move as it bears down on you. And I'll reach up and just detach my arm. The one that came through to our time. I was the only survivor of it. It is still in our time.
And it is currently, or was last seen, heading towards the Dwarven lands.
Do they have
In your time.
In our time, yes. And we are concerned that the dwarves will not have the technology to deal with this, so we do really need an answer as to how to deal with this.
Do they have any specific weaknesses we can exploit?
He sits and ponders for a moment.
Because if we don't solve that issue in our time, I mean,
Your time may not exist.
works the way it does, you may never be able to develop the technology you need to defeat them.
Aye. That's one way to look at it. But the other is if I give you any information that changes what happens in your time, maybe my time never comes to pass.
Well,
And maybe I don't exist.
if we don't fix this, your time will never come to pass anyway. Your golems didn't belong in our time. That creature doesn't belong in our time. And he'll just put the breastplate down. This metal doesn't belong in our time. Any way you look at it, we have to fix things in our time, or you don't exist. Well, or you do, and it's very, very changed. Probably worse for you.
Or what has already happened was always going to and always will happen.
That's a ridiculous way of looking at things.
And if we'd have just let the Everburn come back through, you'd have all been dead by now.
Or maybe.
There's no maybe about it. Come on. They think of making mountain explode. You telling me that you've got enough people and machines here to stop that?
Maybe.
Mazdak,
My
you
armor
said-
is better than yours.
Mazdak,
Hmm.
you've been into one of these staple ones before.
Yes,
That took you to the past.
it did.
You couldn't.
We could not
Change.
affect anything in the past rift that would affect our time.
I tried to carve onto a building that was in the process of being built, and that carve was not there when we got
Exactly.
back.
So whatever you tell us here, we can apply in the past to help us, which will not affect you in the future. So we'll become our own grandfather. It's rubbish.
If if only all science educators could explain the grandfather paradox in such a way.
Nasdaq is a very simple person, essentially.
I'll have a persuasion check at advantage from someone.
Everybody
I will.
check
I
their
mean-
persuasion skills.
I will.
I'll
Yeah.
roll one.
Probably
Mine's
Kral.
really quite good. I got a +7 on my persuasion.
I'll
Mine's
plus
not
8.
bad.
So am I doing?
Oh no,
it, or-
Mazdak, you can make it.
As I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, it was either you or Kral, but let's go with you, Mazdak. If,
Mazdak talking a lot? No.
That's a 26.
that's a high number.
It is. I rolled a 2 and a 19. So the advantage helped.
So, upon hearing the recollection of having previously travelled through one of these and not affected anything in your own present, he sort of loosens a little bit. Right.
So it would be the same as if you travelled back with us, tried to affect something in the mountain, and then when you came back here, nothing.
There's something to be said that the way fate goes, no matter what happens here, the future is still set.
Well, quite.
Well,
It's almost like these time rifts, time portals have been made by whatever itself, that divine thing, if you look at it that way, to try and fix this rather than damage anything else.
Oh, and there was another question we had. How many gods are
Yeah.
there?
how many gods are there?
Yeah.
10.
10. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so
I mean, none as powerful as Dorimond, obviously, but
Dormant?
Sorry, which one?
yeah, Dorimond, you'd know
Oh,
the
yeah,
name.
the
the-
dwarven.
the god of crafting and such.
Sure. I have a list of gods.
Above table question: how many gods should there be?
9.
9.
So,
No, nine plus one. It's kind of like dimensions of time and space.
We're going to
scenarios.
conveniently not mention Dask because she kind of uproots our entire argument about time not being able to be changed.
Not this
Yeah.
So
time.
are you saying there's been a change in the hierarchy of the guards?
No. No. Doramond is the god of the craft, but
Well-
Dusk is the head of the gods.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's very good information. Thank you so much.
Is it like that in your time?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good to know there's some consistency there then.
Obviously, yes, yes.
Yes.
Well,
So, I think that you're just a strange bunch of strange people trying to do a bit of good.
That's.
And I
well,
like the look of you.
It's a good way to describe us.
We are definitely trying to investigate what's going on and trying to put a stop to it to help as many people as possible.
and strange is about the kindest way you could put it.
Well,
A lot of people died from the rift that brought your soldiers and golems to our time, both of our people and of your men. The fewer of these rifts that occur, the better.
If you are going to fight a Renegade, there are things you need to know.
I would appreciate any advice you can give me.
They are not like any sort of creature that you'll have fought. You cannot just hit them and hope they'll die. They do have weak spots, though, and you must target that. First up, they like to rest, and when they're resting, they take a while to bring out of that. You gotta be hitting them hard. And eventually, you'll get them angry, and that's when they really start to fight. Okay? So get it angry, and then it will start fighting you. Try and get it into a position where you've got the advantage. Difficult. Probably. They're quick, but they're also really agile. It's... You've seen it. Which one am I pointing? You've seen it. It's like... It's a sort of four-legged creature, but it's just black. It's like a giant panther or something like that. It's like 12 foot tall at the back. But it's so black it's difficult to look at. It's just darkness.
Bonia's knuckles are white around her holy symbol. Trying to stay
so
stable.
it's when it's resting, hit it hard so it gets angry. When it gets angry, it fights us. It's very agile and very quick. So these are not weak spots.
No. But you need to get it into... You need to get it angry before you can exploit the weak spots.
Right. Oh, I see.
So I take it gets reckless when it's angry.
In a way, yes. But also the way it sleeps, it protects its weak spots.
Right.
First thing, the tail. Go for the tail. Once you damage the tail enough, it loses some balance. And that makes it easier to hit the eyes.
I found if you set fire to the tail, then it runs around in circles, shouting. Well, other things do, but I presume they're basically all the same.
Fireworks, yeah.
Oh, good.
So first the tail, then the eyes,
Yeah.
and presumably through
Well-
the eyes we can get to its brain and disable it.
After you've got the eyes, it will start screaming. Not like... Well, sort of. I mean, it screams because you just cut out its eyes. But it's... Because these things were developed. They weren't just, like... they didn't just evolve like they are.
This
It
is
was designed.
rather than
They were designed. They've got backup senses. So it starts making noise out of its mouth once its eyes are out of action, because it can use a sort of echolocation.
Echolocation.
Like that. Yeah. That's what it does to start to try and find you. But once it's got its mouth open, that's when you can get into the really soft spot.
So if I was to, for instance, throw a fireball down its throat once its mouth was open, that would ruin its day.
That would probably ruin its day. But after that, because that's still not the end, once you've done that, you gotta hit it anywhere, preferably in the head, but hit it fucking hard, right? And I don't just mean get someone to whack it with a stick, I mean several of you combo attacking the thing.
Right,
This is
so
why
tail, eyes, mouth, head, dead.
angry first.
Angry first.
Why do we make it angry?
So it loses
Expose
control.
its weakness.
Stop hiding its weaknesses.
It sort of sleeps in a way that protects its tail, and obviously it's got its eyes closed and its mouth closed, so you can't get to any of the weak spots when it's sleeping. You got to get it angry to wake it up.
Oh, I see.
But that's also when it's at its most dangerous. Except after you've like burnt the inside of its mouth with the fireball or whatever you're doing, then it starts getting a bit extra reckless, and you got to be careful. But that's when you got to hit it hard. But it sort of balances out because it's going reckless, and you've got to hit it hard, so it makes it itself easier to hit in a way.
I'll just sort of look at Bernia and Sasha and Kral and go, everybody got that?
Yeah.
If I can keep my head whilst we are
Set
fighting.
it on
it's
fire
the
and burn it to death.
You
That's
look
what
at
I
Carl.
heard.
Carl's got his notebook open and he's writing. Kez is basically sat on the top of his shell. Kez is basically like a miniature Carl with his notebook open, writing.
Tail, eyes, mouth, head, dead.
Yes, we also have Kit on stream.
So
Woo! You make it sound quite easy when you put it like that.
Yes,
But
I
let me
suspect
tell
it
you.
isn't.
Well,
I've watched that thing carve through two armies at war and leave only me.
is there anything that you can recommend that I try and build for this endeavor?
Building, unless you can build columns. We designed those specifically to be able to target those things, and I can't let you have one of those, I'm afraid.
I'm not asking for that. Obviously, I'm not without some skill myself, and he'll point to Keth and the various implements that he's got on him. And then he'll take the other breath that he's got left out, and he'll basically push them across the table. These are yours, anyway. They don't belong with us.
Thank you. So, think you're ready to take one down?
I don't know about ready, but we certainly have to try.
We've got no choice.
Is there any particular terrain you would recommend? Does it have difficulty in crossing, say, swampland or water or...
Right.
Is there anything that it doesn't get hurt by?
Don't try and attack its mind.
Right.
With the echolocation, do you think that we can perhaps reflect some of the, I guess, waves back so we and create blind spots?
You can try, but in my experience, it's a little difficult to guarantee things.
We will want to secure our own minds if we do go to fight it.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a habit of sort of fogging the brain. Slows you down just enough.
I barely broke through it. I lost my arm in doing so.
Very strong will you must have, young lady.
Belly goes to say something and stops herself, still holding onto the amulet.
So in terms of terrain, yeah, you can, I mean, I don't know what a swamp is.
Oh,
But,
it's like marsh ground where the ground is sodden with water.
that would probably slow it down, yeah. I mean, it's got a very
Slow us
high
down
top
as well.
speed, so if you can slow it down, that'd be great. We sometimes do it in forests. Because it's a large creature, the large number of trees makes it difficult for it to weave around, even through it with its agility. That can be a useful trick.
You say it's very agile. Would coating the floor with slick grease help at all?
Maybe. Not sure anyone's tried that one. Kind of makes it difficult for you to move around, though, doesn't it?
Well, sort of.
We've used it to, well, I say wait. Mazak's used it to terrifyingly successful ends before. So if you've got any magic uses that can do that kind of magic, then I would probably recommend experimenting with it. To be honest,
It does work on most creatures. Just once they fall over, that's kind of it. When
Worked
Saturday
on your
hits them.
golems.
Yes, well, they are a bit clumsy.
Right.
Through.
So, how do you counter the fear effects?
Strong minds.
Well, you say-
Lots of practice.
Oh, practice. I see.
And the golems have no minds, do they?
The golems, exactly. They were what we first developed to combat that, because they don't have a mind to be interrupted by the Ridigita.
Right.
The other thing we do is the creatures do emit that fear sort of aura from them even while they sleep. So we can use that to just get a bit closer to them, to train our minds to be resistant to
Right.
it.
I see. Ah, very clever. Yes.
have you ever heard of them? I suppose pulling anything out to somebody and duplicating them.
Pulling something out of someone and duplicating them. What do you mean?
So we were told that by Severell that there was a duplicate of himself that was pulled out.
What?
I think what that is that above table, Severall's story was that he engaged the creature, and then when he tried to retreat, he teleported to the top of a ledge or up the mountain, and then he was looking down on himself.
Yeah.
But he teleported during a temporal event, and he went back in time to watch himself.
My bad.
Yeah, no, you good. That it's worth clarifying complicated things like that.
Yeah.
It's all this timey-wimey stuff.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
This is going to sound like something crazy, but nope, doesn't matter. I'll think of it later.
Right. So,
Thank you for your advice.
Indeed,
It
it's
would
been
be-
very helpful.
Yes.
So, is there anything else that we can think of, and I'll turn to the whole, that we need to ask? Or, and I'll turn back round to Chief Eldon. Chief Eldon, is there anything you wish to ask of us?
What was the world like once? I can see lots of different species amongst this group here,
Well,
which is nice.
Well, the
You
world
all
was
used to get along.
I
reasonably
ain't
well.
gonna say
Yes.
that it was entirely peaceful. There was war, but for the most part, each of the races and nations had their bit of the world, which they lived in, loved in. You know,
Yes, I
made
mean,
things.
most of the world was connected through the mages of Canticia, with teleports into all the major capitals, and apart from Greconoria, where the dragons live, obviously, because the dragons don't
I've-
like teleports.
I've heard of dragons.
Oh, they're great.
There are no dragons.
I'll pull out of my bag one of the mechanical dragons that Kral made, and say, "This is my friend Kral made this. It's an accurate model of a dragon, and I will give it to
And
Chief
Kroll,
Eldon."
Kroll will just pluck a little flash of magic and just animate it briefly.
Would you? Isn't that wonderful? May I keep this?
Yes, it's for you.
Thank you. Very kind of you.
Did I just hear you right? You said there's no dragons here.
Yes, that's right. Dragons are gone.
Well, I was,
There is legends of dragons, which is why I've heard of them. But there are no dragons anymore.
And no peoples like ourselves. Pointing to ourselves in that hand.
No. No,
I will
you.
look back.
He sort of holds up his little animated model, sort of next to you. You're like humanoid dragons, are you?
Descendants.
Dragonborn, some would say, but yes, it's
Right.
a little
Yeah,
worrying
no.
that no dragon or dragon-like are about in this time.
well, not just,
No, most of the world is dwarves, and even our numbers are dwindling.
well,
The elves are
Therasimel?
well. Sorry, I don't know that name.
Oninia?
Sorry, no.
Who were the elves led by?
There's the main one. There's like a group of them, but the leader, who's been there for a while, she's called Renee.
Oops.
I think we might have fucked up, guys.
Ah, fine. Don't worry about it.
we know of Renee.
She is.
Well, elves do live a very long time. She was around in your day, was she?
Yes,
She was.
yes, indeed.
It also helps that she's the favorite of one of the gods.
Chosen of Hanumo.
Oh shit! Right.
Mm.
Do you happen to have any pictures representing the gods? I'd be interested to see if any of that has changed over the years.
Sorry, Githelm is the one who will have any information like that for you. You mentioned her. I think Doomy or Moomy had mentioned them.
Yes. Yes, they
Get
said
out.
that she had books and was a historian of sorts.
Yeah. Not many of those in dwarven towns, but
Right, right. Well, I think
Well, it
you
won't.
know Sasha's just offhand question about the gods should be just passed over for just now. We could certainly ask Kithelm about that. That's not a problem. Is there anything else that you would like to know?
I don't think so. It sounds like your time is quite nice, and I can see you trying to protect that.
Yes, yes.
And I don't want to know too much about it because we can't have that.
Well,
No, indeed not.
is there anything from a smithing or a creation point of view that you could teach me to maybe help us do what we need to do? Because I'm a craftsman at heart. I was raised by dwarves,
Right.
so
Yeah. The language, you got the language down, despite a few changes over the years, I imagine. Your accent could use some work, though.
yeah. Well, Grimble always did say that, despite me being raised by him and the others, that the accent from where I was from always came through a little strong.
Really. I mean, I don't know if there's much that I can really teach you. Most of what we do these days is working with mithril, which is what like the golems are made from. But that was something we discovered real deep, like 300-400 years ago. Like, I think my dad was an old man then, or my granddad maybe. But yeah, so that's kind of the real difference that we have these days is just working with a better material.
Right. See, that
Not to
makes
be all
me...
hint, but Bernia is kind of fiddling and trying to fix a couple of the slight breaks in her arm at the moment.
Yeah, so Kral will send Pez over, seeing the corner of his eye with his passive, and through Pez, Kral will cast Mending multiple times, so you'll just see sort of him just keep gesturing, and then Kez will basically mirror the action and start sort of just tweaking and fixing.
Thank you, Small Crowd. And I'll give him a little pat on the head.
Your arm.
Hmm.
It's dwarven made, isn't it?
Made by Danver Slaghammer, a friend of mine. He was the one that taught me your tongue.
I think there's a few slag hammers still down south. Maybe you could, you and your Kral, is it? You, maybe the pair of you could go along to the Smiths and see if there's any tuning up that can be done to your arm.
Did any of our work on the marrying the arcane with the cannons survive to this time?
Arcane cannons? No. A form of that sort of thing is in the golems. They do their big burst fire from the center of their chest.
Yes, we're familiar.
Good, aren't they?
No, were you not able to refine the work, or was it never?
We just found it a little, like, it was great, it was good. Don't get me wrong, but we found it was just a little overcomplicated, and we just wanted something that fired and just did damage. No questions asked. We didn't need to worry about reloading with any particular materials or anything like that. We just fire. That's what those things do. And they're mobile on their own. So yeah, we don't really use the arcane cannons anymore.
I've been working on a design to miniaturize it into a handheld.
Right.
Who do you think would be best to talk to about that, just for a few pointers? Because I've kind of hit a wall.
if you go in with your lady friend to the Smiths, have a word with them, because they're the ones who do. Well, there are some of them that do work on the golems, and they might be able to help out with some of that design. So if you two are going to go off to the Smiths, what do the rest of you want to do? Because I assume you're not going straight home.
I'd like to go and speak with Githelm if that's at all a possibility. It'd be interesting to learn
thought you
what
might
she
say
knows.
that. Mm.
If anybody wants
Yeah.
to come with me, I'm
Yes,
happy
I'll
to go along my
come,
own.
Mazdak.
but
No, I'll come. I think it could be quite advantageous.
Indeed,
I will also join you if you don't mind.
of course.
Well,
Okay.
I think I'll probably go to the Smiths because there's fire there. I like fire.
There is fire there.
Kroll will pull out a spare notebook and give it to Mazdak. Just in case you find anything that you need to record, right?
Sure, and I will bring out like a stack of books and go. I think I'm covered, but thank you for. And I will take it because you can never have too many notebooks.
Yes, mine are the special ones with with the different squared and ruled paper in there as well for you as well, just in case.
How strange.
That was the wrong time for me to go and look at the chat. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, no, probably best not to ask.
Okay.
You have a damage that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Mm. So, he sort of gets back up, has a little stretch, wanders back through the door. Outside is Mumi and Doomy, and he speaks to them for a second. Right, Doomy, can you take them to Gits, please? Mumi, can you take the other half to the Smiths? Okay. Once everyone's done,
Good
come
to it.
back here.
How soon is now?
In about 5 minutes after a break.
Yeah.
Don't worry, that was what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will take a little break there, and then we're going to split the party, and I can kill you off one by one.
Marvellous. So don't forget to go and buy lots of things with all the money you don't have anymore because you spent it all last month because it was some sort of weird pagan celebration. Right, see you in a bit. and welcome back. We hope you enjoyed your non-spending spree. DM.
Okay, so after the conversation with Chief Eldon, you are escorted to a couple of separate places. Was it Kralbug and Bernia going to the smithy, and the rest going to Githelm's?
Yep.
Or Git.
I didn't
So-
specify, but that's where I'm going.
Cool.
I still
So
wouldn't have said you specified there. That's where you're going. Which one of the two places?
I didn't specify before, but I'm going to do the researchy bit, not just
Right. Okay, cool.
well, let's go to the Smiths first, because we've just done lots of talky law stuff, so we'll take a break from that. Yeah, so the three of you follow one of the dwarves to the Smiths. You can smell the molten metal as you approach, and it's all very good, normal hammering noises going on.
Are they met by a very depressed man with a very sad voice?
Is it like a working man's club? I'm just asking.
So you go into the Smiths. I can't think of the guy's name. Otherwise, I'd name
Morrissey.
someone. Morrissey, there you go. Yeah, so Morrissey's there, hammering away. No, yeah, there's a dwarf that comes to meet you as soon as he sees Moomy. All right, what's all this then? That was. Who are you lot?
Well, I've come down because I would like to see if I can learn anything that will help us kill one of these Radagitas. And I've got a couple of ideas on a new handheld version of the arcane cannons that I'm kind of struggling with, but I thought you could maybe help. And I believe my friend here has some question about her arm.
Right. He just pulls Moomy aside and has a conversation, which you sort of see some gesturing from him and these guys before he comes back. Hello. I am Darrock. It's nice to meet you, strangers from another time. Very strange.
Yes.
Probably should have led with this, but my name's Crawl. I am sorry.
Carl, that's all right. That's all right. You speak good Dwarvish. Your accent could do with some work, though.
I get
I
that
am.
all the time.
Very
Just my theme of the session. Right.
Bernia.
It's nice to meet you. And you, normal-heighted one. Bug.
James.
You are muted. You're muted.
Muted
Again,
on Discord.
You're muted.
James.
Maybe we're muted too. That's why you can't hear.
I am Bug. Hello. And
Hi.
mid sentence, my eyes will catch the forge, and I'll just turn towards it, mesmerized, and start walking towards it.
Well, he likes fire.
I can tell that. There's lots of it round here. You're not going to get hurt, are you?
No,
He'll be fine. So, you want, pointed at you, Kral, you want some ideas about a little cannon? Okay. And your arm needs a bit of a work.
Hmm.
Is that right? Okay.
I'll just detach it.
It's good. It's good work.
Mm.
Material's a bit out of date, though.
As said, we are from the past.
Well,
13th time.
that makes sense then. Probably perfectly up to date in your time.
Hmm.
So, do you want me just to fix this, or would you like a new one?
I'm not sure. I feel there is more to be done with it, but I don't want it to be just a weapon. You know what I mean?
Right.
I did have a few ideas that maybe we could incorporate a shield, or I did think about the shield spell into the arm, but I never really got round to the
Or
idea.
perhaps a larger barricade that I am able to.
Yeah, like a proper shield, or yeah.
Interesting. Hmm. And is that what you want me to do with it? A bit more defensive stuff?
I think that would be most useful to me.
Okay. And you want me to just work it in with this one, or make you a new one? Because I can.
Perhaps a new one. And I can
Apparently,
keep
Chief
this-
Eldom has given you guys carte blanche in whatever you want.
It is very odd. I'm not entirely certain about everything either, but it is how things are going. But I would like to keep this one just as a backup, or one to use when I am resting.
In case you need a
Wait.
hand.
When you need it. Okay. Wanders round, goes and speaks to someone, comes back without the arm. So you and your miniaturized arcane cannon. You know, we stopped using those some time ago.
Yeah, he pulls out the notebooks and just lays them out with the basic plans that he's got for the essential handheld mortar, or like the right. He wants it as a rifle variant, but he hasn't been able to get past the. He's had to shorten the barrel somewhat on his design.
Right. There's a little flick through, leaving black smudges on the pages.
Well, there's just be leaving more black smudges on the pages.
Okay. Okay. I see. So, I think, if I'm seeing this right, where you're trying to incorporate the power source back here, I think that might be better suited moving further up the barrel. So that leaves, like, a chamber behind it that can reflect the energy and amplify it before it fires again once through the power source, which will help to narrow the field of fire.
And if we can get some of the reflective substance that would be able to handle the energy, we might be.
Yeah, we use that sort of thing in the cannon, in the golems all the time. That's how those work.
And I'm guessing that. So he's going to pull out some examples of like the hardest materials that we've got access to at the moment, and guessing that the energy buildup probably wouldn't be able to be handled by basic iron or steel variants.
Yeah, a bit of mithril will sort that out.
Right. How long do you think it'll take us to fabricate this?
If I put in a shift tonight, we can have it done by morning.
I'm more than happy to help. The more I can learn, the better.
Right. Have you got somewhere to stay for the night?
I'm happy to stay down here and work, to be honest.
Yeah, but I'm sure the chief will sort something out for you. All right. be interesting to see what you know anyway.
He pulls out the all-purpose tool. Like he flicks, basically, it looks like he's essentially flicking through the settings, and settles on his multi-purpose hammer at the time. And he's like basically vibrating because he's so excited.
Nice. All right. Let's get to work then. Just while you're here, can you keep an eye on him for me? Because I think he's going to do something to get himself hurt.
Right. Well, Bernier, you okay to keep an eye on Berg, or do you want me to get
I'll go and bug sit.
Okay.
If you will.
I'll send Kez and Scafflock to keep you company and help. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go wander over to see what Bug is
Carl will
doing
lift
that he
them.
shouldn't be.
Carl will lift them both down. It's like he's basically talking to his children. Now, I need you two to keep an eye on Bug and keep him out of trouble. Please. Good boys. Now, go on.
Well, if you go down to find Bug, you'll find Bug standing right next to the forge, and you'll see his fire serpent is curling round his neck, then down an arm, then into the forge and playing in the fire, and then coming back up again and just having a great time.
Your
And Bug's
fascination
giggling.
with fire is certainly interesting.
What?
Your fascination with fire is certainly interesting.
Well, it is beautiful, isn't it?
Uh,
And fire is life. Without fire, we'd all be frozen husks.
that is true.
So
True.
you can't argue with that. It's a
No.
stuff of life.
If the fire that the Everburn had started was a genuine wildfire, I would have left it.
Oh no, he's a monstrosity. Can't have people like him.
Yeah.
That they're not real fire. They're a different type of fire, and they're bad. They have to go because they give people like me a bad name. And it's so pretty. Look at the pretty little flames. And I'll open my hand, and there'll be flames inside it, just flicking up from my pretty burny burn. Would you like some? And I'll stick them right up into your face.
I'm okay. I lie more on the other side of life, the growth and strength. And I'll kind of just show my amulet of Nagare.
What's that then?
It's a amulet of one of the gods. of
Oh, I
Nagare.
don't do god stuff.
Well, for the longest time I did not either, but
I mean,
still you are odd. Is it just you who does all of this fire tending, or
as far as I know, yeah. I just like fire, and fire likes me. And I've got my little friend here who looks after me and keeps me warm.
just interesting?
And I never burn things down accidentally or on purpose.
You sure about that?
No? Yes? Maybe?
I'm not going to judge you.
That's good. The last person who did try to put me in jail.
If you had been doing it 20 years ago, that would have been me.
What, judging me or being in jail?
Putting you in jail.
Oh, I see.
A stupid question. You have a light. As I pull out my my smoking pipe.
Oh, I just flick my thumb like that and a little flame will come up off the end of it. There you go.
Thank you.
And I'll take my pipe out and join him.
Dude, there's just sat smoking by the forge.
Oi, who's smoking in here? I'm really joking. As you sit there enjoying a nice smoke, actually having some downtime to bond with your new companions, Bernier, is nice. It's all been all go for a few days.
It's nice to talk to a fiery person that isn't trying to swindle me out of my money or convince me of something.
You sit there. You can see, Kral and Darok working, sort of flicking through a notebook, looking through materials and things.
Probably
You
quite
can see.
nostalgic for Bernier, smoking whilst watching a dwarf do his
Yeah,
work.
yeah. You can also see someone else. There's another dwarf that works in the forge who's sort of got your arm up on like stirrups or something. Like it's just up there and sort of making a sketch and working, pulling bits of material in and working on stuff. So with that, we'll switch over to the other group, who wander down a few streets between some buildings, past the pub, and there's a little door at the end of a street, which is it's actually a wooden door, which is odd for a start. And as Doomy goes up, he bangs on the door, like, "Oi, get!" As bangs on the door, but it just swings open. It's not locked. And there's a rustle of papers before there's oh, who's there? Oh, hi. And yeah, Doomy's like, can we come in? And he just sort of walks in anyway. As you just follow in. Oh, who's this lot then? Quick exchange between the two, explaining the situation, and Doomy sort of wanders out. Says, "I'll stand guard. Okay, take as long as you need, but don't take too long." Oh, hi. Right, you guys from the past. That's fun.
Yes, indeed. My name's Mazdak. I understand you're Githelm.
Ah, yeah, right, yeah, I'm getting home. You see her, she's quite tall for a dwarf, and she does have a short beard that is sort of trimmed purposefully to be short beard, and she's not in armour, it's just a nice dress. It looks very undwarven, really.
I'm told that you are a historian, come librarian, come researcher, which is amazing because I aspire to be a librarian myself. I am a researcher, I'm an investigator. I like books, and I was sort of pull a few books out of my bag. And I was wondering, because we're from the past, I have a number of questions.
Me too.
I suspect you are the person that's going to answer them for me.
I've got so many questions too. This is so amazing. Can I
fantastic.
read all your books, please? This is just so amazing.
You can certainly read some of them. There are a couple that I need to keep secret because they are to do with wizardry and magic and may eat your brain if you are not trained properly.
Secret books. Now you've got me.
Yes, indeed. So, I have a number of questions. Very first question is, what's your very favourite book in here?
Oh my gosh, that's so tough. There's like the one that talks about
That's a joke.
Focus on
That's
the
a joke.
important things,
That you
as
cannot have a favourite book. It's impossible.
Oh,
Mazdak is incredibly happy.
this is so fun.
Yes, indeed. So, serious question though. The year I'm told is 813, which is interesting because the year I come from, and I'll tell the year that I'm from, which is suggests there was a reset at some point. We suspect this is to do with the mountain not having a top.
Well, like the world sort of ended about 800 or so years ago.
Right.
Sort of like most people died.
Okay.
There was just a few, the dwarves, the elves, a few tieflings, a few other. I think Tabaxi's still kicking about. There's some, what you call them, like the elemental people. So, Genasi, yeah.
Right.
There's still a few of them kicking about, but yeah, most species just sort of went
I see.
extinct.
And Cantisha? The wizard?
Right. That's the wizard place. Yeah, that's all gone. No,
Right.
I mean, there's still magic, but there's not really like wizards like that.
Right. Okay. Right.
Hello.
And what year was this?
Atan. Sorry.
Hi,
What
Atan.
what year was that exactly?
0.
Okay. Do you happen to know the year that before we reset?
Yeah, it was, and
A
she says the same number that you gave to her.
Right. That's interesting. Okay. So
That was the year you're from.
yes, I know. It's exciting, isn't it?
The records you have. Why did the world end? Why is most races and creatures?
That something I'm still trying to figure out. Right, there was something to do with, and we're still seeing effects of it even now. Right, like I think the effects shouldn't be here because they happened in the past, but the effects are happening in time, so it's still sort of rippling out from like year 0. So they're still sort of happening as a
Yes,
byproduct
so-
of them having happened.
So
Are
the
you
time,
saying-
the time rifts, yes? So
Yeah.
we've come through a stable rift from the past, but we also had a stable rift where we're from that took us back even further into the past, which was interesting. We also have had unstable rifts that have brought creatures and things
Yeah,
and
they just sort of suck
landscapes.
things through.
Yes, indeed, which is interesting. And also, if you try to teleport or any kind of teleportation magic at that time when a rift is active, really very bad things can happen. So I suspect that I know exactly what we've got to do to prevent this from happening.
Just a clarification here as well. You say that Cantisha is no longer there, as in the people, the city, or
I mean, the land is still there, and some ruins.
strange. But also to do with the elves. You said there's mainly dwarves and elves that are prevalent in this time, and a certain elvish leader is still about.
Renee, yeah.
And they control what is left?
Well, they're the leader
So-
of the elves, so it's not really to do with Cantisha, I wouldn't have thought.
So, let me just... She grabs a big book, clunks it down onto the table in the middle and holds over a few pages. So, from what I've been able to work out, because it has been my lifelong mission to try and track what happened in the last 800 years or so, give or take, something happened. Something that affected time, or something that was caused by time, or something like that, and it just sort of built and built, and it there was just like a sort of temporal explosion or something that basically just ruined everything and killed most of the living species, except a few, obviously. Since then, Renee sort of used that opportunity amongst the elves to take power, and has then sort of just like turned the whole elven country into a war machine to try and take over the rest of the world. That was like what they were trying to do from the start. As soon as Renee took over, she just wanted to wipe everyone else out and just sort of rule the world of elves.
Indeed. Okay,
And
that's interesting.
There have been a few pieces over time between the dwarves and the elves, but that never really lasted. Then they started to develop like biological creatures, like weapons designed to do certain things. They've got this big like panther type thing, which is really scary, I hear. But they've also got things that dig, and that's where we started to get into trouble. There's not many cities left of dwarves because they had these digging creatures that just sort of mined under the mountain and then just popped up, and the elves could sort of just like stop fighting in dwarven cities, and that caused us a lot of problems. But we tried to reinforce that with like magma flows underground, so they can't. Occasionally they're digging and they just get caught in the magma. Right. Sorry, you had questions. I'm going off on one now. You had questions.
Yes. Sorry, you go ahead.
I don't get many people coming around to ask me things, so I just get a bit excited.
I'm just trying to piece a few things together, Mazdak, but on our way to this place, but in our time, we teleported to Sasha's home, right?
Yes.
Oninia.
And you said it never used to look like that. It was different. It was changed by this temple.
Oh yes, there's a swamp in the middle of the city. One of them at least. And that's where the wolves from this time were pulled through, as well as the golems.
So everything happening now is basically temporal displacement, and that's what happens whenever it is back in our time for everyone to not be there.
But it's just not just happening in Oninia, it's happening all over the world.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's some sort of temporal explosion, which has brought the past, the future together, where nothing is really there anymore.
Indeed. I think we're and I'll just sort of look at everyone, sort of straying into territory we don't really want to be talking about, if you know what I mean. Because
yes,
we kind of know that what probably caused this, and we are 2/3 of the way to getting things together to try and prevent it. If you recall. No? Okay.
Yes.
You do. Okay, brilliant. So, what we could possibly do with is we've been talking to Chief Eldon. Very nice. I liked him. He gave us lots of interesting information about the Ridugita, which we need to go back and resolve and put an end to. Because one of them has escaped into our time, which is very bad. Yes, indeed. One of our companions, Bernia, had to deal with that firsthand as it came through a rift and blasted straight at them. Not good. Not good. So. What else did we want to know? I can't remember now.
The thing is, Mazdak, though, the trouble started before that.
Sorry?
The rifts were there even
Yes,
before.
indeed. Well, we know that the rifts are a different thing altogether, but we need to deal with them. We suspect that what's happening is something is trying to get into this plane of existence. That's why the rifts are there. We've already established this. Do you have any information on extraplanar beings at all?
Ooh, yeah. I got a book on one of those. I mean, I say I've got a book. I've written most of the books in here.
They're also all very good.
Can I just clarify out of character?
Yes.
The rifts were caused through the detonation of the big mana pearl by several in the fight with Bernia versus whoever else it was, and that kind of tore a hole in and let things through. That was my understanding.
So, yeah, always good to sort of re-clarify this because it's been a long time. Yeah, more or less that's accurate. The detonation of that big pearl caused a tear and something has been trying to get through one of these tears since.
Yeah.
Okay,
That first explosion, yeah. So whatever's causing the tears is something extraplanar that is trying to get
through, taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
So
just to clarify, the Riddigeator that came through is not the thing that is causing the big problem.
Yeah.
No,
That's
just happened to hitch a ride on the first rift.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
just to clarify as well, so this stable portal that we've used, that is or isn't what you're calling a tear?
Oh, it is a tear, I think.
Yeah. I've used sort of portal, rift, tear all interchangeably.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that we haven't missed
Temporal anomaly.
Yeah. I didn't expecting to find like a Doctor Who moment in like there's tears in.
There's a crack in the wall.
Yeah.
Trying to think of it as like a wormhole sort of thing. Some of them are stable and some of them are not.
Yeah.
That would probably be the easiest way to define it.
Some of them you can deliberately walk through. Some are pulling things through.
Yeah. Or pushing things
or
out.
Pushing things through.
Yeah.
Depending on your viewpoint.
That's just the other end. Yeah. It's pulling stuff out one end and pulling it in one end and pushing it out the other.
And the probable end of the world has probably, and I might be completely wrong on this, been caused by the angry red dragon, Contorara, teleporting whilst there was a rift active, therefore catapulting her into godhood, and she is the cause of the world ending in the year we're from. That's my current
Not certain about
Not necessarily.
It's my current
I think there is something else afoot with that.
Anyway,
but
that's all
Contorara
conspiracy
may be
beard.
helping, but
Sorry.
that's conspiracy beard.
So, and just to clarify something as well, with everything what Mazdak would have told us newbies in the group, would you have gone over this whole rift tear and something trying to get through with us? So we'd be up to okay, cool.
Yeah, and would have also mentioned when we had the bubble spell up that we
you
not to
did
talk
that.
about task at all.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
So, okay, cool. So back to reality again. Which version? Not sure.
Reality?
Yeah, there are a number of different versions I'm currently inhabiting. So
Yeah, I feel that.
Okay.
So you've asked Githelm for books on extraplanar
Yes.
creatures.
If she knows anything about extraplanar creatures.
Right. So everything, she's getting some step ladders to get a book off the shelf. Like most things in here is stuff that I've figured out and asked people and been and read books from other places and other times, and it's all, I'm trying to keep it all here and keep it all safe.
In other times?
So like books from your time that have survived to now.
I see.
Not that I've gone like time hopping like you guys.
Insight check.
Mate, maybe. Go on, make it.
I mean, got to it, yeah. I was surprised Fiddy didn't say it first.
Sorry, I did not hear it.
Insight. Oh, it's pretty good. 23.
that was just great. It was just no. yeah, that's so fun. I don't believe you. No, I mean when she says not that I've gone time hopping, like there's no lie
Just
there.
checking that she hadn't found a rift and suddenly gone back to the Library of Alexandria, for example. Just a guess.
Yeah.
Just
starts nicking books out of the Cantetian library.
Yeah, literally.
I honestly thought earlier we were going to have a crossing of campaigns. I thought the dwarves were going to be Gus and Yorick, and I'm like, geez, whoa, trippy.
It crossed my mind, but I thought that's too on the nose. So yeah, she pulls this book down. Right, there's lots of blank pages in here. I suspect that there's a lot more. Anyone in particular you're looking for?
Well, anything you have, really, because we suspect that the something is trying to get through these tears, these rifts in time and space, from outside of our world to, well, devour us.
Right.
Potentially anything that's been trapped.
Or banished.
Yes.
Or banished. Right. I don't know.
Smaller than this creature that's come back through, perhaps, because if that can get through, then why wouldn't anything else of the same size?
Well, I suspect this entity that's trying to get in is much larger.
That's what I mean.
Much, much larger. Or is prevented from entering by some sort of barrier.
Well, considering the size of the golems, I'm just trying to establish how big it could possibly be.
Oh, creatures get much bigger than our golems.
I'm not sure how big this Tipikara creature, whatever.
That's not what we're doing, Sasha. We're looking for something else, something the thing that's trying to get in.
It's going to be bigger than that.
Possibly. It may just be a mind that is trying to force its way into the world. We don't know. It might not be a physical creature at all.
World Eater.
Could be.
Maybe as well.
I got nothing on World Eaters.
What could blow the top off a mountain?
I suspect that was the Everburn.
A very strong breath.
But would it
Yeah.
stopped the... I'm confused.
Team, Sasha, just have a seat, and
Yeah.
if we look at the books, we'll tell you what we find.
You're looking for what caused the apocalypse.
Yeah. Amongst other things.
That's probably what's coming through.
Yeah.
Did you mention the Everburn?
I did, yes. It's a.
Easy, yeah.
Is he? Oh, that's interesting. What sort of information do you have on him?
Oh, he, like a fire elemental type creature, like could give powers to other people. So no, he disappeared a while ago.
Yes, we've encountered him.
Oh,
He was trying to
he
get
was.
to the rift that we've come through.
I
It's
think
our time.
I think we tracked him. He was up north when the golems went missing. Did he go back with them?
I would
Did he get
suggest-
back into your time like
He
that?
did, yes. He came
Blimey.
with a tiefling called Imarius.
Oh yeah.
Yes, interesting fellow.
Right.
He basically, Imarius had asked him for powers and then decided he didn't want to have the powers anymore. He had somebody different give him powers, which annoyed the Everburn. The Everburn tried to kill him and therefore killed a city of giants at the same time. It was very, very complicated. And the Everburn then we tried to stop, and we eventually stopped it just outside the rift that we came through in your welcome chamber.
Interesting. Right.
But yes, anything that's been banished or trapped in your book.
I mean, if you want to take it, do you read Dwarvish?
I can.
Can I?
If you want to take a look.
Hang on.
Okay.
I remember what I can do and what I can't do with this character.
Do you know of Amanita?
Maybe you and I know.
Amanita. Mazda, just
What
check the
is
front
it?
of that book.
Sorry?
Just check the front of that book. Everything should be alphabetical. If Amanita's
Oh,
a
right.
thing,
Yeah,
should
I'll
be in that
look.
book.
Is Amanita listed?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And like I don't know, like warlock patron type classification.
Beings of
Same
power.
as the
It says
Everburn.
there's a Amanita, an Everburn, and
What about Chakotay?
Oh.
Jay.
Oh. No, she'll be in another book. Where's that one? Goes over to another shelf.
We fought her once.
Did you? And you're alive? She was
Mazda.
feeling nice, was she? She's still about, you know.
Fight.
She's still about, you know.
I figured.
Yeah, Chikoto, she is.
I'm gonna read that.
Mazdak,
Yes.
what if we're thinking about this the wrong way? We're thinking of an extra planar beast that's trying to break through, that's potentially trapped or banished. What if it's another god?
Well, yes. As mentioned in the "don't mention things" part of the conversation, we know of
Yes.
the one who tried to, the wizard that went to.
Yes.
Yes. I'd rather not mention names because names have power.
No. I completely get it. But
Oh, please do. If you've got information, I want to be able to write it down.
no. The point I was getting at, Mazdak, is not that one. Another one.
No. Not her, but him.
Now I am actually
Okay. Above
confused.
table,
Sorry.
there was a guy that did this before, who went to the plane of the gods, fought them.
The gods are basically the group of adventurers that went into
Yeah.
the realm of the gods and
Yeah.
took over.
Yeah.
They were led by the god of death, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Yes.
Vastro.
And
Vastro.
Vastro.
Oh. Right.
All went in there.
Got
with
you.
him.
So I don't think it's a banished god. I mean, it might be, but it doesn't appear. Anyway,
It feels.
So
something
we
comes
were
back.
told about the old elemental gods that they essentially displaced to become the pantheon of the world, which caused the cataclysm.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
And we surmised a theory that one of those imprisoned elemental gods might be trying to break out, which is causing all sorts of shenanigans. That was our previous theory.
Got you.
so, yeah, I will look up in this book, see if any other names are familiar to me in the list of creatures, beings of
Roll an investigation check.
investigation check. 24.
Let's see. For anyone else? I mean, there's definitely one name that sticks out to you, but I'm just seeing if there's anyone other than that. Not that I can think of. Yeah, as you get to about the middle of the book, there's the name Nimrillan.
So, okay. Interesting. I will flick to
Sorry,
the
is
page.
that a name that we're supposed to know?
Nope. It's a name
It's
that
a
I
name.
know.
Uh,
So I will flick to that page in the book. What does it say about her? What can I learn about her?
Light on information, but does say Fae entity, craves knowledge, stuff on having previously used granted power in order to gain favor with people who became very powerful in their world.
So nothing I
And-
don't know already is.
Yeah, like slowly over time has just picked enough people in powerful positions and helped to raise them up. ultimately sort of end goal unknown, but enjoys the puppetry of it.
Okay.
Just talking about this with everyone here, can I just have a think about the immensity of the power, what would be needed to literally cause an explosion, an apocalyptic thing like this to happen around the world, for places to be left in ruins, and basically the world starting from zero again. Like, I know magic, I know spells, and I know obviously that this pearl has been created and created these time portals and stuff like that. But the immensity of what I'm trying to think of is something to literally either rip something over to go bang, or the amount of power to try and break that.
Make an Arcana check.
I think perhaps if we could see if we could contact the Jakoto of this time, maybe they will be able to enlighten us.
23.
23. The amount of devastation that has been caused in what appears to be a single act is something that would be limited to very few creatures. The amount of power to be able to do something like that. There are extraplanar entities that probably have that much power. There are realms of all sorts of different elements and concepts and things that can gain enough power to do that sort of thing. Though very few and far between. Gods are certainly something on that list.
Mm-hmm. I'll nothing sort of like stands out though.
I mean, you've sort of said, what do I know about creatures powerful enough to do this?
Yeah.
There's pretty limited list of that.
I'll explain that to Mazdak as he's reading through the book,
Okay,
and just to see if any other creatures' names maybe pop out with a with that being that outer realm, godlike / immensely powerful being.
Is there anything that sticks out to me in this book would match that sort of description? I will ask. Is there anything? What would be the most powerful being that you've come across? What caused this apocalypse 800 and odd years ago? Do you know?
You must have some theories.
I've got theories. Most people call me crazy for them, though.
I'd love to hear them.
Yes.
Listen, we're from the past. You're in the future.
That's pretty crazy to begin with.
That's crazy. Let's do crazy.
I think it was a god. I don't really see how anyone else could have the means or the will to do such a thing. Now, you, I'm sure, know of the 10 gods that there are.
Indeed we do.
So that's a list of 10. But I also think there were gods before them.
Yes, the elemental gods.
Right. Is that... I've only really theorised, but...
Yes, the basic... we learnt that the current gods were displaced the elemental gods. Yeah. And I will relay the information that we know about what happened. I will leave the part out about Contarara and teleportation. I would just say that the gods were a bunch of powerful wizards, an adventuring party that went into the realm of the elemental gods and took over, causing an apocalypse, setting up the gods as we know them. I will omit any references to there only being 9. I will just say that this is the way it always has been. Because I don't want Contarara or Dusk to find out where the fuck I am.
Maybe Shorty knows.
I mean, maybe.
So, I was right. That some came in and took over.
Yes.
So, what happened 800 years ago? I don't know. Maybe it's just like those gods. If they were just like once mortals that got given power, like I don't know. Maybe they started having a fight or something, and it just like rippled through.
Oh, it could be.
Or maybe like the old original elemental gods. Maybe they're involved somehow.
Maybe they came back.
Trying to speak and I muted myself. Oh, we're underground at the minute, aren't we? So there's no open top. Yeah.
Correct.
The landscape outside, the destruction. What was it? A literal explosion? Like there was fire, or?
I mean, pulls back old history book. From what I can tell of like what happened, and trying to actually piece together what happened 800 years ago, when the only people you can ask who might have actually been alive at the time are actively trying to kill you, is quite a bit of a challenge. But
is Jagoto trying to kill you?
Jagoto? No. Oh, she's just like...
Oh, Jagoto. Excellent. I'm going to send a message to Jagoto.
This is what I've been saying.
She did say that.
Yeah, I know, but I've been doing other Mazdak things. The way Mazdak's brain works is that everything has a little sort of hierarchy as to how it works. So I will send a message to Jagoto because I have sending. So I will say, "Hi, Jagoto. How are you? It's Mazdak here. We're in the future. Are you available to chat? We're in the dwarven city of Mortar at the moment."
I counted that too. We're in the...
well, I've got hi Jagoto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 to act.
I missed a hand.
So I would just say, at the moment, and wait for a reply.
Okay. Right.
I wrote it out and everything.
Having a very bad day.
Yeah, I was trying to do this as we went along. But yeah, clearly I only went to like 4 hands instead of 5. Right. I may want to pause and think about that.
Okay.
So maybe I'll pick up next session with that. But there was a question. You were talking about Jagoto. You said like, is Jagoto trying to kill you?
Well, yeah, because they said that the only thing
Yeah.
that we know was trying to actively kill them. So that's why I said,
Well, that would be
Jagoto
Renee.
trying to kill them.
Yeah. Elves kind of live long times. And like
Yeah, that's
Renee.
why I was talking about. But they already said that Jagoto was still alive.
Yeah.
I can send her a message to Renee.
I see. No, sorry, I forgot about Jagoto. She's not trying to kill us. That I know of.
I can
She's sort of retired.
send a
as far as
message
I know.
to... I can't remember her name.
Renee?
No. I mean, I could, but I wasn't gonna. It was gonna be... What was her name? The
Nimmerland.
one we left in charge.
Oh,
Oh, that's all right.
Dasaru.
He might still be alive.
Interesting.
I will send a message to Dasaru. I will say exactly the same thing. Hi, Dasaru. How are you? It's Mazdak here. We're in the future. Are you available to chat? We're in the dwarven city of Mortar at the...
Excellent, excellent. That's two
That's
that
all
I'm
I
going to
leave it.
pick back up with next week.
Yeah, just yeah.
'Cause she
Mazdak.
was our friend at that point.
Yes.
Question for you, DM. First, before I do this bit. SETI.
That's me. Sorry, the setting.
SETI
Seti,
The dragon.
Seti the dragon. Yeah.
is an ancient white dragon, right?
Yeah.
It's
Silver.
ancient gold dragon.
Cold. Sorry.
An ancient dragon. In obviously our time, knowing SETI, how old are they?
Anne's dream.
Don't be sleepy,
Don't go.
Dobby. Don't be sleepy, dog.
Don't know if I've aged SETI properly, but like tens of thousands of years.
So, next question then was potentially around for the first changing of the deities.
That was about 80,000 years ago. I do remember that. I'm not sure if SETI was alive at the time. Can't remember if that was stated.
And we
No.
haven't quite figured out the time from 813 years ago to when we are from, basically, as well. So it could have been another 10,000 years or so, right?
No.
we know
Seemed
that
implied that
813 years ago was the year.
I
we've
was
just
from our
come from.
time.
Yes.
813 years ago was when we are from.
the apocalypse happens in our time.
somewhere.
There is. I will, however, give you some hint as to the description of the journey. There is, however, some time, because before that blinding white light that lit up the rift for some time, the dwarves did rebuild the roof. So there is some
Was it
time.
was great
Sometime.
before and then it got blown off again.
Yeah. So we've got like a couple
I've
of
got
weeks.
the mother of conspiracy beards going on in my head right now.
So timeline for you, Fiddy.
Yeah.
80,000 years ago, group of friends, including Vastro, all the gods, worked out how to get to the realm of the gods
Yeah.
and became the
Dask.
gods. Including, in the rewritten timeline, their 10th friend, Dask. As she named herself back then.
That's cool. So, being a dragonborn myself, I would know what would be the average age or lifespan of an ancient dragon. What could they go up to?
Like
A lot.
tens of thousands of years. Like
Yeah.
40, 50,000 years.
Mazdak,
Yes.
maybe at some point whilst we're still here, just to see, even though nobody's seen any creature other than dwarves or elves, just see if SETI's still about.
Certainly, I would love to send a message, but unfortunately, I don't have the resources to do that just now.
No, it was
Maybe tomorrow.
just, yes, it's just I know that they've been alive for some bit, and obviously know a trick or two, so maybe they are still about in this time.
Yes, of course. I would always love to speak to Seti. He's very nice.
Have you got any more questions for Git? I can't seem to think of any with all been answered really with what you've got.
I think so, yes.
Well, I'd love to throw lots of questions at you guys, because you might be able to help me fill out some empty pages in my books, which would be lovely.
Absolutely, go ahead.
I could maybe order some dinner in if you wanted to stay. The pub's just round the corner. They'll deliver.
Perfect.
Do they do fish as well?
Fish? Up a mountain?
With onions. Liver and onions, yeah?
Yeah.
I got it, Vince. I got it.
Thank you. You said they deliver.
They deliver, okay.
Yeah.
That was
That's pretty
never
joke,
funny the first time I heard it. It's
No,
always
yeah.
very like cumbersome to get to the punchline. But I get you.
I'm happy to. Maybe we could. Our other friends could come and they could fill in any other gaps from their lifespan and what you've got.
Ooh. Yeah, I love it. Oh, it's nice to get a breakthrough of sorts. I've been writing for like 80 years trying to fill out all these books, but there's always little gaps, and the more of like the older dwarves that you know serve their time and move on, the less information I've got to dig into about the past.
I'll let the was it Doomy who's outside? I'll let them know, and they can go and get our friends, and at least they can get to bed tonight. And I'll just go to the door and open it. It was Doomy, right? It wasn't.
It was Doomy outside, yeah.
Doomy, I don't think we'll need you for the rest of the night. We've decided
Right.
to stay here.
Okay.
But is there any chance you could find our fellow companions and bring them here so we're all together?
Sure, right, because...
That's if Git, you don't mind lots of people being in your house.
No, I don't mind. More the merrier.
Super.
I'd have to, like, shove some, like, empty workbooks off of dusty old chairs. I'll have to find some room, but it's all good.
It's all good.
And
we can stay up
with-
looking at books.
With Doomy, I'll be like, do you still have currency in this time?
Of course we do.
And yeah, I'll just get some gold out and be like, for your services, thank you.
I mean, that's not our currency. I can pick that stuff off the walls round here.
Oh,
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'll claim it back from the chief.
On expenses. Nice.
Exactly. This is overtime, isn't it?
well, thank you.
Right, I'll go get your friends, and then I'll leave you to it. I'll check in with the chief and make sure that he's happy with you staying in here.
It's going
And
to sleep.
oh, beautiful. So he runs off, goes to the Smiths. I presume, Kral, you're gonna opt to stay and carry on working, but Bernier and Bug, are you gonna follow?
Yeah, if my regular arm is finished with repairs and their measurements, I'll.
So
Yeah,
they've taken like a blueprint of that one, so you can have that back, and it's been tuned up and working. And they are currently working on a newer one with an upgrade.
Cool.
Bug, are you going with Bernier?
Muted.
You muted,
muted.
James.
Should get that on a pop-up
Yeah.
card.
Are you staying at the forge, or are you going back to the books?
No, I'll go back with Bernier.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
probably just happily chatting along whilst smoking.
Yes, talking about burning things and fire and stuff, and I'll make fire dance around my fingers and over my hands, and
I'm probably sharing some old war stories.
I feel like there's two separate conversations going on there.
Yes, I think there is, but we are getting
Sounds
along
like it.
because we are riding the smoke just a little bit.
Riding the smoke. Okay, we'll leave it there. I've got my. I've got now 3 things from Chaz that I
Sorry.
need to.
I mean, Mazdak, man, I can't just like switch him off.
Of course.
I apologise for hogging the spotlight, but
No. For once, it
Oh.
wasn't me
it was just, you know,
asking stupid questions or answers what the DM would have no idea how to answer.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is sometime in the future where you've got the option to ask questions and find out answers of certain things that have happened. So, of course, it's going to be very talky person
Yeah.
oriented.
Well, that's what I thought. If Chakotay's still around, who better to ask what happened 813 years ago than somebody who was there 813 years ago?
It's a great
Well,
point.
I've asked 2 people, so neither of which have got back to me yet. But
It could be Dakota's too pissed off of what we did to talk
it
to
could
us
be.
again.
and it could be that Dasaru's been
dead.
killed.
Or experimented on.
Could be. I mean, I could reach out to Renee as well if you like.
Ooh.
I suspect that's probably a bad thing. to do,
Mentally
at this
reaching
point.
out to Renee? That's a bold
That's
strategy.
it's a good move. It's a good move.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it. Do
I
it.
mean, if the DM is recommending it,
I mean, can't be
What
bad,
could go
could it?
wrong?
Exactly.
What
It'll
could-
be fine.
it couldn't possibly be a bad plan.
It'll be perfect. Nothing bad can happen to Mazdak ever.
So, Jade, I can see you itching to get out your conspiracy.
This is the future if we fail. I don't think this is the solid future. I think this is the current future that we are heading towards unless we can change
I
that
agree.
trajectory with what we are doing.
I'm wondering if we caused this future.
I
By
don't think we
confronting
did.
Possibly,
I
but
think
it's impossible for us to know, and I don't think we ever will know exactly what happened
no.
because wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Contarara caused this. She
I don't think she
ambushed
did.
us. No, she ambushed us. She set all this in motion.
I
Because
don't
if she
think
hadn't
she
ambushed
did.
us, we hadn't escaped and pissed her off. She would have chased us. We then nearly killed her. She teleported to try and escape during a rift, which caused her to become Dask.
See, I think Contarara became Dusk with like the idea of, oh yeah, well now I can be a powerful god. I suspect that she is now having to deal with the fact of, oh shit, something's trying to tear its way into this plane.
I suspect that the other.
I
nine
don't
gods are
think
ganging up on
Contarara.
her.
I don't think Contarara is behind this. I don't think
Oh, she's not behind it. She caused it, though.
the current
Yeah.
gods. I don't think Contarara is behind it. I don't think the current gods are. I don't think the elemental gods are. I think that's a different conflict to what's going on with this pearl, and we are going to have to try and settle that disagreement in the realm of the divine,
Oh, we
in order
definitely
to
need
be able
get
to deal with this.
We need to get to the realm of the gods to sort out Dask
The
before
gods-
we can get.
The
to deal
gods have
with whatever
noted
the
that they
rift.
are afraid of what is trying to come in.
Exactly.
We've had that information. I think that they are afraid because they are not unified.
So I think
And I
we need to
think
get there,
there's-
deal with Dask or Contarara, and then deal with whatever is trying to come through the rift.
Yeah.
See, I think, like, not to overthink it is probably the best bet at the minute. Elemental gods, like, they were beaten by mere mortals and put to wherever they were put, we don't know yet. And Dusk
I think-
is the cause because she's been the weak link, or they've been the weak link, sorry, in this whole new deity hierarchy. And the time explosion has just caused that little crack for them to try and pop back through.
Maybe who this is the Etherburn, a weakened elemental,
A weakened elemental god. It could be.
trying to get back on top again.
And is Amanita a weakened elemental god as well?
I think they were just trying to take advantage of time rifts. I think that's what the Everburn was trying to do. The Everburn was trying to do something similar to what Lork was doing in Elleran. going back in time to regain power back in the future.
Could be,
But no, I don't think Contrara is behind this. I think Contrara is just taking advantage.
Oh, yeah, I didn't say she was
The
behind
situation.
it. I think she caused us to be
Yeah, yeah.
involved because of what she did when ambushing
I think
us
we
when
were going to be
escaped.
involved anyway because
Yeah,
we were
but-
investigating them. I think Contrara, to look at it from a more of a storytelling perspective, I suspect that Martin did not intend for Contrara/Dask to happen. That was just a case of us pissing off a red dragon and then fighting her in the middle of a.
Be a fucking big brain
rift
move
event.
if I did, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It would be. It would be brilliant. And I would give great credit to you if it was.
Absolutely.
But I think
So I love
that's-
the same
it's-
kind of purposing.
As a DM, going, I reckon I could set something up that I know the party will cause because it's the thing that's going to happen, which is piss off some powerful creature.
yeah.
Like, that wouldn't have been impossible for me to predict.
No,
That will
no.
piss off some powerful creature.
No,
Right.
I think much like the Everburn, I think Dask Contrara is just trying to take advantage. I don't think
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that that's
he is
the
responsible
end
for
villain
anything
is,
that's happening
is
here.
Dask. The end villain is whatever's trying to get in.
Yeah.
Mm.
We probably will fight Dask at some point.
Absolutely. So
Probably when we try and enter the Divine Realm.
Yeah, that was
But-
the plan, is to get into the Divine Realm, deal with Dask, and see what happens from there. I think. Probably.
Simples.
I'd like to share a brain worm that's completely unrelated to the plot of the campaign or kind of conspiracy beards. But since the discussion on that feature, which I can't pronounce, this is how we kill it. I'm taking down extensive notes on how we kill it. I've had that line from Shaun of the Dead going through my head of remove the head, destroy the brain. I know destructions are a little bit more complicated than that, but it's,
I mean,
I've just had that on
is
repeat in my
basically the
head.
Instructions. The Ridugita.
Yeah.
That one.
yeah, that's
Anger
it.
it, take off tail, poke eyes, fireball mouth, kill,
Destroy the head.
and then
And head
next
down
off
the
the
Winchester.
Winchester and wait for it all to blow over.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds like
Yeah.
a plan.
Brilliant.
There's so
Yeah,
much.
so we've got a
potential
to-do
for
list.
Grandfather. There's so much potential for grandfather paradoxes throughout all of this as well. Like
Yeah.
the one of note to me is the golems. They feel like a grandfather paradox because the dwarves took some of the wreckages back to the mountains after the encounter in Anenia.
The thing, like, I am probably, you might have guessed, a sci-fi fan.
Yeah.
No.
No, really?
So
What?
time travel stories are not like something I'm not exposed to. I very much enjoy them, and I know from experience how difficult they can be to get right. Some people hate the bootstrap paradox, the grandfather paradox, where something creates itself. It exists because it exists. The golems exist in 813 because they went back into the past where they were being able to be created, stuff like that. But I like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think it
I think that's
creates
brilliant.
infinity. It's Lister Ouroboros. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If yeah, I hope you'd get that reference.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Rob or Ross.
Rob or Ross.
Yeah.
Yes. So I like that sort of thing. I think it does create a fulfilling loop, a closed loop, which is good for me.
Indeed.
But ultimately, I hope you're enjoying it.
Yes, we absolutely
Yes.
are. Well, I am certainly.
Yeah.
Just trying to make sure I'm not too confused about the whole thing.
The last thought that
Oh,
I
I
have
fully
is
am.
that I think we're trying to escape this cycle that has kind of trapped these time rifts from the time that the new gods entered the divine realm to this time in the future. Not sure what's anchoring it to 8:13 necessarily, but I think there is going to be a bound that all of this time travel shenanigans is kind of crossing.
Probably.
Tune in next week to find out.
Tune in next week to find out. We, of course, will be here on Tuesday.
Yay!
For Helleran Rising, where I can't remember. Are you just having a nice cup of tea somewhere?
I think so.
Yeah. That seems reasonable. Recap.
Yeah, we just defeated an ancient dragon.
Over.
Sorry, somebody's got to be doing a recap. I can't remember who that is. Is it you, Finny?
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, I thought it might be. Anyway, we hope you had a brilliant time. We have certainly had a brilliant time. Join us on Tuesday for Helleran Rising, and next Sunday for the next episode of Nasdaq Talks a Lot and annoys everybody else.
There are always more questions.
Yes, indeed. So, if you liked it, great. We love you. You're fantastic. If you didn't like it, however, off you fuck.